See how polar bears are struggling to adapt to record-breaking heat waves in the Arctic, where temperatures soared to 38 degrees Celsius, 100 degrees Fahrenheit, in 2020. Polar bears are struggling to adapt to record-breaking heat waves in the Arctic. In 2020, temperatures in the Arctic soared to 38 degrees Celsius, 100 degrees Fahrenheit, a new record high. Rising temperatures are melting sea ice, the primary hunting ground for polar bears. Polar bears are losing up to 22% of their body weight due to reduced hunting opportunities. Climate change is projected to reduce the global polar bear population by 30% by 2050. If global warming exceeds 2 degrees Celsius, polar bears may face extinction by the end of the century. Learn how atomic clocks helped scientists like Isidor Rabi and Norman Ramsey win the Nobel Prize, and discover the groundbreaking experiments that redefined our understanding of time. The first atomic clock was built in 1951 by physicist Isidor Rabi and his team at Columbia University. Atomic clocks use the vibrations of atoms to regulate their timekeeping, making them incredibly accurate. In 1955, Norman Ramsey developed the first atomic clock that could be used as a time standard. Ramsey's clock was so precise that it could detect a 1-second deviation over 100,000 years. The development of atomic clocks led to a redefinition of the second in 1967, based on the vibrations of cesium-133 atoms. Meet the brave miners who risked their own lives to save their colleagues, like the hero of the 2006 Sago Mine disaster in West Virginia. On the 2nd of January 2006, an explosion rocked the Sago Mine in West Virginia, trapping 13 miners underground. Only one miner, Randall McCloy, survived the disaster, thanks to the heroic efforts of his colleagues. Miner Terry Helms crawled through toxic air to reach McCloy, giving him oxygen and saving his life. The Sago Mine disaster led to major safety reforms, including improved emergency response plans and stricter regulations. The incident also raised awareness about the importance of miner safety, sparking a national conversation. Randall McCloy's rescue was hailed as a miracle, and his story inspired a nation to appreciate the bravery of miners. From her rumored connections to the Kennedys to her alleged IQ of 168, we're separating fact from fiction in the enduring mythology surrounding this Hollywood icon. Marilyn Monroe was born Norma Jean Mortensen in 1,926 inches Los Angeles County Hospital. She spent much of her childhood in foster care, bouncing between 11 different homes. Monroe's early career included modeling for the Blue Book Modeling Agency in 1945. She signed with 20th Century Fox in 1946, changing her name to Marilyn Monroe. Monroe's rumored IQ of 168 was likely exaggerated, but she was a voracious reader and autodidact. She died in 1962 at age 36 from an accidental overdose of barbiturates, sparking enduring conspiracy theories. We put the Hyundai Accent, Ford Focus, and Toyota Yaris to the test to see which one is the cheapest to maintain over 10 years, with some surprising results. The Hyundai Accent, Ford Focus, and Toyota Yaris are among the most affordable cars on the market. Over 10 years, maintenance costs can add up to 30% of the car's original purchase price. The Toyota Yaris has the lowest average annual repair cost at just $300 per year. The Ford Focus has the highest maintenance cost over 10 years, totaling over $6,000. The Hyundai Accent's maintenance cost is 25% lower than the Ford Focus over the same period. The Toyota Yaris is the cheapest car to maintain over 10 years, saving owners over $1,500. See the impact of Hurricane Irma on sea turtle habitats in Florida, where storm surges and flooding affected over 100,000 nesting sites. Florida is home to 90% of the U.S.'s sea turtle nesting sites, making it a critical habitat. Hurricane Irma's storm surge destroyed over 50% of the nesting sites in the Archie Carr National Wildlife Refuge. The hurricane affected over 100,000 sea turtle nests, putting an entire generation at risk. Conservationists are using innovative methods, like 3D printing, to rebuild damaged habitats and protect nests. Sea turtles have been on the planet for over 100 million years, but human activities have pushed them to the brink of extinction. Every year, thousands of volunteers help monitor and protect sea turtle nests, making a crucial difference in their palsence. Uncover the fascinating inspirations behind Hayao Miyazaki's Spirited Away, including Japanese folklore and mythology. Hayao Miyazaki drew inspiration from Japanese folklore and mythology for Spirited Away. The film's heroine, Chihiro, was inspired by a young girl Miyazaki met on a train. The spirit world's bathhouse was influenced by traditional Japanese Sento bathhouses. Miyazaki was fascinated by the yurei, Japan's ghostly spirits, when creating characters. The film's iconic no-face spirit was inspired by a mix of Japanese folklore and Miyazaki's own imagination. Miyazaki's own childhood experiences in rural Japan influenced the film's themes and settings. Count down the top 5 deadliest sports in history, featuring gladiator games, jousting, and boxing, and learn about the mortality rates and risks associated with each sport, including the shocking statistic that 1 in 5 gladiators died in the arena. The ancient Olympic Games featured a deadly sport called pankration, a mix of wrestling and boxing. In the 18th century, boxing matches often lasted until one fighter was knocked out or died. Gladiators in ancient Rome had a 1 in 5 chance of dying in the arena, with over 10,000 deaths recorded. Jousting, a medieval sport, claimed the lives of many nobles, including a French king in 1559. Bullfighting, still practiced today, has a mortality rate of 1 death per 10,000 participants. Delve into India's border disputes with Nepal, Bhutan, and Pakistan in the Himalayas, including the Doklam Plateau standoff and the Kashmir region. India's Himalayan borders stretch over 4,000 kilometers, making them one of the longest in the world. The Doklam Plateau standoff in 2017 brought India and China to the brink of war over Bhutanese territory. Nepal claims 370 square kilometers of Indian territory, including the Lipulekh Pass, a strategic trade route. Pakistan controls 35% of the disputed Kashmir region, with India controlling 45% and China controlling 20%. The McMahon Line, established in 1914, forms the disputed border between India and China in the Himalayas. India's Himalayan disputes have resulted in several wars and skirmishes, including the 1962 Sino-Indian War and the Discover the biggest warships in the world, including the USS Gerald R. The largest aircraft carriers are like floating cities, with over 5,000 personnel on board. The USS Gerald R. Ford, the newest carrier, has a price tag of over $13 billion. The USS Nimitz, in service since 1975, has traveled over 1.5 million nautical miles. The USS Enterprise, the world's first nuclear-powered carrier, was in service for 51 years. These massive warships can carry over 60 aircraft, including fighter jets and helicopters. The combined length of the top 5 largest aircraft carriers is over 3,000 feet, or nearly 10 football fields.